You're gonna hate me for this, right? Because I'm gonna say the same amount, but it's difficult. Can be very nutrition based. If you have a fatty meal, if you're having a heavy meal, symptoms will be much worse. It will reduce the maximal rise of sugar after a meal. Always I would advise that if you will fast, you at least want to do it the right way.
Our skin is the mirror of our soul. Our skin is our largest sensory organ. Our skin needs a healthy microbiome balance. This is regulated by its pH value, which protects the skin from pathogens, cold and ultraviolet rays. 𝑷𝐸𝑽𝑟𝑚 protects your skin.
We are in the holy month of Ramadan now. While fasting brings us many spiritual rewards, it can also raise many questions regarding our health and well-being. To discuss about how to take care of our health during Ramadan, we have with us Dr. Khalid Khalil Afifi from Al Hilal Hospital, Sitra branch. He is a resident in family medicine. Let's welcome Doctor to the show. Doctor, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
Thank you for joining us today, Doctor. So doctor, can you explain for us what happens to your body during the long hours of fasting?
So honestly, there's so many layers to this. The most basic is that one, your body will utilize the sources of energy that it has, and then it will seek out alternate sources, and certain processes kick in. For example, you finish up your extra glycogen stores, which is glucose stored up, and then you'll go to your fat cells and you start burning those. So other things also, of course, end up happening. And one of them is something called autophagy, which is the body eats up its debris or its least functional cells. It's one Japanese scientist actually got a Nobel Prize in it, discovering that fasting really triggered that. 12 plus hours, 16 plus hours triggered that in 2016. Yeah. So a lot of processes end up happening while we're fasting. And we notice when we do it for prolonged, it happens in phases as well. So the first few days are always the most difficult. The first week, because that's the biggest brunt of adjustment, change in the environment, and the body, that's when it starts getting most of the complaints that we might get from people. And we start getting such things like headaches, dizziness, the excessive sensation of the thirst and the hunger happens most in that week. For those who smoke, those same expected ones are to be doubled sometimes. But so the headache can be a bit more severe. For caffeine drinkers, it will be the same. Looking at things holistically, we notice that this happens in the first week. Second week is much lighter. It's okay, now it's a bit much more bearable. Third week, amazing things kind of, whoever fasts months on end will notice that amazing things start to happen, right? A sudden influx of clarity, a lightness to the step. It feels like even the tummy is lighter. We notice that mood actually even starts becoming easy and uplifted. There's no sudden dips in energy also, no? Which we notice in the first couple of weeks. And so if we pause and we wonder, how did we get there? You know, what happened in the first week, second week, third week? So when you ask what happens in the body, it's evident in the manners of it as we go through Ramadan. You'll notice it.
So doctor, how can we prepare our body before Ramadan?
So one of the best ways, I guess, is to start fasting beforehand a bit. Introduce fasting. So many people will do Rajab Shaban fasts as it is. They get into Ramadan primo, ready, yeah. Some will do the Monday, Thursday, twice a week fast. But if we are to say, for example, call it a cheat sheet, you know, like a cheat sheet for Ramadan, at least a couple of weeks beforehand, the habit changes that we expect for Ramadan to bring into our life, we should prepare for a little bit. For example, something personally that I did was delay a little bit the coffee. Don't have it so early in the morning. Don't wake up with it, because I know I will not be. And instead of having two, try to limit to one, and don't have it as strong. But also, it's a matter of being more active in the decision-making of the nutrition and the hydration. So getting used to drinking the 3 liters of water. Getting used to sleeping at appropriate times and benefiting most from those hours of sleep. Being able to be more aware of the nutrition that we eat. That, okay, we're gonna have to, for example, start acclimatizing to knowing how much protein we actually need to eat. And we keep circling back to protein and healthy fats. So we need to accustom our eyes and our stomachs and our senses to this much on the plate is what I should be having. And I need to at least have this much before I start thinking of having more time for, say, snacks, desserts, and all these things that will have less nutritional value. So when we do it in the holistic way, we can just say, practice living it a little bit more before it comes. Be more aware of it, conscious of it, and it will come more smoothly that way.
Doctor, another common query is it safe for everyone to fast, or are there someone who should not fast or avoid fasting? Oh no,
naturally, when we look at it medically, religiously, scientifically, all that, already religiously there's people who don't have the obligation to fast. There's no harm for them if they don't. Some are advised not to. To get the basics out is anyone who is, any lady who's on her menses. And when we look at that in a scientific sense, it's already a difficult time physically. They can be due to the loss, blood loss can be low blood volume, low blood pressure, iron loss. So already as it is, the wisdom is not to fast as it is. Other than that, we have people who, certain types of diabetics who cannot fast. People who, for example, are elderly with comorbidities, multiple conditions. We be either very wary, we can try it out, but they're always under watchful eye. People who may take injections for insulin, it's a sensitive matter also. Either we really watch the dose, we adjust it. Patient education is very important at this stage, or they're not allowed to fast. On daily cases, for example, what we can notice is someone who's just quite ill, right? Someone comes in with a fever of 39.5, not tolerating much food, water, or such. I think that once again, the point of it is safety first, always self-preservation. And there's always the wisdom behind it all, that if you're sick, you don't have to. So always I would advise that if you will fast, you at least want to do it the right way. So yeah, sometimes you have to break your fast to take care of yourself. So you can do it right another day.
Doctor, can you now suggest an ideal suhoor meal to stay energetic throughout the day?
So we will notice, if we can take a pause for that, when you mentioned the suhoor meal, let's talk about just any meal in Ramadan as well. If I would take numbers and break it down a little bit. So imagine someone needs to have a certain amount of calories in a day. That's based on BMR, basic metabolic rate, plus whatever their energy expenditure is, say exercise, movement, and all such things. How do we, if it's a numbers game, say a 70 kilo person, we wish them to remain 70 kilos. Each day they burn 2,000 calories, then each day they should eat exactly 2,000 calories, yeah? So we want to fit what's balanced and proportionate for a person, at the least in the hours that we are eating during Ramadan. We're not fasting. To do that, we should consider the total of this protein calories count to be 25 to 35% to be protein, 25 to 30% to be healthy fats, and the rest to be complex carbohydrates. Basics. So that's the number. So if we bring out a calculator, 25 to 35% of protein. Now, each gram protein is 4 calories. Multiply from these 2,000, this much will be calories from protein. Each gram of second segment, which is healthy fats, about 25-30, keep it. Now, this is customizable, by the way, for goals and purposes. This is where the leeway comes. You customize the percentages of these. But anyways, each gram of healthy fat, I will keep saying healthy fat, is 9 calories. So 1 times 9, 30% of that. This is how many calories come from healthy fats. And the rest, subtraction, and you get that much from carbs, complex carbs. So that's how we do a basic way of doing it. And how we customize is the art part. Okay. Now, if we take it that way, each meal should represent that. So when I'm having a suhoor meal, I want it to have 20% of the calories from that, at least, to be lean, nice, quality protein, 20% healthy fats, and the rest complex carbs. So I can have for 2-3 boiled eggs, plus some oats, healthy carbs, complex carbs, plus Greek yogurt, some more protein, probiotic, yeah? I can have with it something that will support hydration. For example, we can put the chia into the yogurt, add it with the hydration, plenty of water after that, allows for optimal hydration. We can have things that are complex carbs. We can have beans for those who can, not for people who have G6PD deficiencies, for example. One side effect can be, for example, the bloating for people who might have such sensitivities from beans and gas, but otherwise it's a great source. Legumes are a great source also. So proportionate one, 25 to 30%. That is a basic way. When we're breaking our fast, we shouldn't be particularly filling up to 100%. So we should break it slowly. Give our body some time to respond to the influx of sugar, get that signal, because usually what we will do is 3 dates. That has carbohydrates, sweet, and it has a certain amount. When your body has that, within 5 minutes, your level of hunger will adjust. You will not be as hungry as you are if you wait 5 minutes after eating something and drinking some water. You won't feel as hungry, so you won't eat as fast. So if we allow to slow things down, we will be having a better mind-body connection anyways to that. Then we can divide the meal into portions. So we can have dates, water, soup or salad, or soup and salad. Pause, pray if you will, relax. And then come back to a portion of what you would have had, for example, as a full meal. Leave the second half, the second portion, you can have it within, for example, another hour. Proportion, make that portion 30%. You get up 30% full, leave some room for water. which solves automatically another problem that we face. How do I drink so much water after eating so much food? If you don't have room for water, you've had too much food. So if we think of it as a third food, a third water, and a third air for the digestion, you'll have much lighter belly. You won't feel as stuffed. Another thing to do is, a simple trick, is walk 5 to 10 minutes after each meal. That's a general thing. It will reduce the maximal rise of sugar after a meal by a certain percentage, just because you immediately started using some of that sugar in the bloodstream from the food. Took it to the muscles, to the leg muscles, to use it for walking. So instead of reaching that much, it will reach that much, for example, the peak, and then comes down. So that's also over time beneficial. Your average sugar level can be lowered that way. If you're always feeling stuffed after food also, it could be one of the signs of having, for example, H. pylori causes that acidity, that bloating feeling. So it could be an inflammatory process. That's one of the other things. Also, some treatments for those are available, especially for symptoms relief and during times of sudden change in diet and habit. People with fatty liver disease also know this quite often. Small meals that can affect them, and it can be very nutrition based. If you have a fatty meal, if you're having a heavy meal, symptoms will be much worse. That's also something of note in that regard. So we can take it as overeating, blood glucose, fatty liver disease can cause that, gastric inflammation, GI inflammation can cause that.
And doctor, how much water should a person drink between iftar and suhoor to avoid dehydration?
You're going to hate me for this, right? Because I'm going to say the same amount, but it's difficult. But we take little steps and little things that we said. Don't fill up too much in food, leave room for water, but you should be having a similar amount for 2.5 liters. Now it's not really, somewhere we're not sweating as much, but it's a matter of also electrolytes as much as it is water, right? It's having proper quality hydration. So we should also be looking at that, having electrolyte sources, especially for the elderly who will be planning on fasting. Dehydration sets off much faster. Children as well. So it's a matter of electrolytes and keeping track of that as well as just fluid intake.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you for joining us today. So viewers, I hope this was a very informative episode. For more informative episodes, tune into BMC Global Live Al Hilal Health World every Tuesdays at 8 p.m.
Our skin is the mirror of our soul. Our skin is our largest sensory organ.